I've always, since I was fairly young, been quite aware of the famous statement about being human beings instead of human doings, and been aware that the pace of my culture and the way things were done in school and all was inherently very difficult for me, and that it would be tiring. And I remember having to come home from school a lot and rest, and why this learning that I loved doing and did well was so tiring. And I was very young, maybe 16, 17, when I began meditating seriously. And I found in meditation exactly what I think I'd looked for in school, which was a state of being that was very, very peaceful and restful. And I've pondered this question about how our culture has such a tendency to make everything into a doing, that we even turn meditating into a doing. Have I done my meditation today? And that I would start to divide things into when I was meditating on a cushion and when I wasn't. So in order to break that duality, and it's time to meditate, it's 7 in the morning or whatever. So I began breaking off any formal meditation after almost 40 years of meditating, to where I'd just give myself the freedom in a day to stop and pause and breathe, and then just be wherever I was going to be. And what began to happen was an inner sense of stillness, of beingness, of not doing anything, that was extremely profound and gave me some insight into how much doing there is even in the process of relaxation, that our lives and our bodies and our minds are so geared and shaped to doing that even what I'd previously thought of as being still or being quiet began to seem like doing. And as I surrendered deeper and deeper, there became a sense of being simply an amoeba, a fetus in a womb, something that was totally inert, and yet because of its own inner movement was developing. And I had the sense that this is the way true creation happens, through an innate force. It's the way a seed becomes a plant. It's the way cells become a fetus, become a child, become an adult. There's no active doing that I do in any of this. It knows how to do itself. And that the motive force, the energy, what runs all this spinning is love, is the divine creator's love for its creation. And that if it weren't, that love is the motive force, everything would get tired and just quit and burn out and be exhausted. And when I read that poem, I just started weeping, because I realized that if I wanted to come back from this place I'd been and come back into the world, still keeping that effortlessness of the being, I needed to really surrender everything to divine love and try to make every moment of my day a surrender to God's will or to divine love or to the universe's patterning. And that there couldn't be this separation of me and what I wanted, and these separations within me, the creative me, the healer me, the business me, the me that goes to do the errands, the me that pays the bills, the me that does the taxes. Instead of having all this struggle and division between all these parts, I needed to somehow just dance in the dance of all of them and let each one arise as needed and fade away as needed, and weave higher self and lower self, and wise self and dumb self. And even one of the gifts this gave me is, rather than defining all this as a kind of illness or a kind of sickness, or even a kind of brokenness, because there were times of great difficulty thinking. I really thought my mind was broken. Instead of that, to define it as an isness, as a stage, as a gift that I was being given, that I had to be broken to get, the way a shell breaks when a creature, a turtle or whatever, is hatched out of a shell. It has to break. And then I found the Leonard Cohen song, Anthem, which just, I cried for days listening to that song. The idea that these cracks, these ways we think our life is broken, these ways our dreams are broken, and these ways our hopes are broken, and the ways our world seems so broken, can really be where the light gets in.